In this video we are trying to revive game 3 from the match of the century between Boris Spassky and Robert Fischer. In this moment Fischer had lead 2-0 in the match. He lost the first match with the biggest blunder of his career, and he forfeited the game 2 because he didn't show up. He didn't like the cameras, he didn't like the lightings, so he practically said or cameras or me. So all the Spassky should do is don't accept the Fischer terms, and he would be the chess champion. But he was the true gentleman, and he agreed all the terms that Fischer put in front of him. So he was the biggest gentleman in chess, and we will see this game. Game starts with d4, the favorite Spassky's opening. Then we have knight to f6, c4, e6. We have knight to f3, which is anti-Nimzo Indian variation, because if you play knight to c3, which is a regular move, you will see this bishop to b4 move, which is the Indian or the Rogozin variation. And then we have c5 from the Fischer. He basically called the Spassky into the Benoni, and he accepts it. He plays d5, we have ed5, cd5, we have d6, and this pawn would be weak entire game, but Fischer would fianchetto his bishop, and he would short castle, and he would try to have the pleasant game. We have bishop to knight to c3, and we have g6, because this bishop is it's not good on this diagonal. He don't have a future here, and he would try to put him in this diagonal fianchetto and short castle. We have knight to d2, we have knight b to d7, and we have e4, just trying to give occupy the space in the center. We have bishop to g7, fianchetto the bishop, and we have bishop to e2, short castle and short castle by Spassky. We have rook to e8, and then we have queen to c2. And this move was commented by many that this queen belongs to the king's side, because queen is left the king's side, and Fischer have potentials to attack Spassky in this flank. You will see what I'm talking about in a couple of moves. We have knight to h5, and he basically offered this knight for the bishop, and instead Fischer could ruin his structure, but that's the price he was willing to pay. We have bishop to h5, we have gh5, and then we have knight to c4, we have knight to e5, just centralizing this knight. We have knight to e3, and we have attack with the queen, queen to h4. After this queen to h4 move, it already looks scary for the Spassky, and he plays bishop to d2, and it is good move, because he must calculate if this sacrifice work, but it doesn't work, because after recapture, white would play rook to e1, and he would escape with his king, and instead of that we have knight to g4, we have exchange, because it is the direct threat to the checkmate. We have exchange, and the Fischer just fix his pawns, and we have bishop to f4, just aiming on into this d6 pawn. He's weak entire game. Fischer must defend it. He plays queen to f6, and he also attacked this bishop on f4. And now Spassky plays g3, because you don't have any pawns to attack this bishop, and you don't have any knights also to attack it. But this weakens the light squares around the king, which Fischer later the game will exploit it. Bishop to d7, a4. Spassky just trying to expand into the queen side. We have b6, and then we have rook f to e1. a6 expand, Fischer expand on the queen side, and rook to e2, just trying to pile up on the e file. b5, and Fischer tried to prove that this majority of pawns is better than the Spassky's majority with the pawns on the king side, and usually it is, because it is the side where there is no queens, no kings. So we have rook A to E1, just pile up on this file, and we have queen to G6. And Spassky would like to play this E5 move and forcing some exchange, but his queen is pinned, and after he recaptured the queen, he don't have any pieces to back up this E5 push. So we have B3 instead, and now we have a rook to E7 by Fischer, just piling up on this weakness on the E4, and we have a queen to D3, and we have rook to B8 by Fischer. AB5, AB5. And we have B4 by Spassky, just trying to liquidate on the queen side. But Fischer said no thank you, and he plays C4. We have queen to D2, and next couple of moves, all I can say that Fischer is trolling the Spassky. You will see what I'm talking about. We have rook B to E8, and we have rook to E3. And at this moment, Spassky just repeat moves, because he must fix. He have this fixed weakness, and he don't have anything better to do. So he repeat moves, and Fischer improved his position. He plays H5, rook to E2, just shuffling, and we have king to F7. We have rook to E3, just offering the draw, and we have king to G8. That is just repeat the moves. So it is like Fischer said, maybe I will take the draw and maybe not, and we have rook to E2, just basically the draw offer, but Fischer declines it, and he plays rook to C. He plays bishop to C3, and we have queen to C3, and then we have massive exchange in the center. Rook to E4, rook to E4, rook to E4, rook to E4, and after that we have queen to E4, and you might think that this pawn is finally free for the taking, but if he take this pawn, then we have Fischer capture this pawn, and he have nasty threats to the enemy king. Spassky desperately tried to create counterplay on his opponent king. He threat checkmate on G7, and Fischer of course stops it. We have bishop to C1, and he would like to make this move and create battery to attack the opponent king, but Fischer of course stops it also. He plays queen to B1, and he pinned this bishop, and actually White would like to play this move, but it is too slow, because Fischer would just maneuver with his bishop, and White would be checkmated in a couple of moves. So we have queen to F1, White try to escape this way, but we have bishop to F5, and we have king to E2. We have queen to E4 check, and Spassky cover up. He would gladly accept the queen exchange, because opposite color bishops are very joinable, but Fischer of course declines it. He gives check, and this is move 39, and we have queen to D2 next move, and it is move 40. And after the next Fischer move, which is the queen to B3, it is actually this match is stopped, and in the next day is continued, because in that times that it wasn't the chess engines like today, so it's not that important. And actually in next move Fischer resigned, Spassky resigned the game, because it was hopeless. He analyzed the game entire night, but he saw that he was busted, because White have this threat, because he would probably like to create this battery, stop this pawn push and create a battery, but Fischer had this move, and a couple of moves later Spassky would get checkmated. So he saw all of that, and White is basically in Zwischenzug. So after the Spassky get back into the game tomorrow, he tried to resign the game, but Fischer was late in the game, and Spassky just resigned the game because he plays queen to d4, and he resigned the game because there is no Fischer at the board, and he cannot shake hands with him. He just left the board. That was the first ever win Fischer over Spassky, and let me know in the comment section what do you think of the Spassky as the true gentleman. Would you do the same if you in his position? See you in next video. Bye.